What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Talking with Beauties, episode 183, the college sports news. And on today's episode, we're going to talk about Texas Tech's rebrand, UCLA's big upset, and maybe the biggest upset of the season, and Gavin McKenna shines in his college debut. So let's head straight into it. So we'll start off this one in college football. Yes, Texas Tech has officially announced a rebrand for next school year. This is one of the worst rebrands I have seen in a long time, especially coming out of college sports. They got rid of the beveled logos and they went to a more 2D logos, pretty much just two block T's on top of each other. And I will say the initial Texas Tech branding, nothing too special, but I think their uniforms have looked outstanding the last couple of years. Their color combinations of the black and red, and it's done very well. In my opinion, one of the top underrated Big 12 uniform combinations. But with this look, this new 2D look, major step backwards in the branding. If you guys are on the YouTube, you've already seen pictures of the new logos and things like that. Again, in my opinion, one of the worst rebrands we've seen in a long time in sports. So what do I rate this out of 10? I give it a flat 0. I think this is awful. I think they need to go back to the drawing board and just keep the logos that they have now, maybe update them a tad bit if you want, but going back into no bevel look, into a whole 2D look here, it's really bad in my opinion. So 0 out of 10 for Texas Tech rebrand. Again, that will be in effect next school year. LSU has become the first team to link a multi-million-dollar jersey patch sponsor deal for next year. Sounds like for the college football team, LSU will have a new sponsor team or sponsor logo on their team uniform. We have no news on who this sponsor is, but they have just passed that teams are allowed to use this. So LSU will be the first team to officially have a sponsor on their jersey for the next season, 2026. North Carolina is in discussion about potentially buying out Bill Belichick's contract. Bill has a 5-year deal, I believe, at $5 million. I don't know if that's per or total. I can't really remember right now. But supposedly his buyout is at $1 million. Bill has also stated that he is willingness to trigger this buyout if he is able to find a job at another team or a media deal. As of right now, I don't really think North Carolina is going to get any better. Bill Belichick, yes, you need to bring in your own guys. You got to have this work over a little bit of, probably 3 years at the very least. Year one has not done well. They're 2-3. Hulu had a whole documentary kind of following the team. They have officially canceled that series due to the performance of the team. So it doesn't sound very good for UNC. I wouldn't be surprised to see Belichick out after 1 year, but also in college sports, you got to give it some time. I think he's got to get at least 1 more year, show some good performances, but they have not done well at all. So Belichick might be out after year 1. The NCAA had some big news coming out of the whole college sports world. D1 sport athletes adopt proposal to allow college athletes and staff members to gamble on pro sports. Doesn't really mean too much to me. To me, it's going to be cause more problems than success, I would think, just because gambling could be a big problem for certain people, and giving college athletes the chance to gamble on pro sports, I guess, okay, but in the long terms, who knows really. And the other thing that they announced is that one-time transfer window dates have been announced. It will be January 2nd through 16th. So again, those are the dates that teams will be still in postseason form. So I think there's going to be, games of that's going to be, so there's going to be 2 or 4 teams potentially still in season when this transfer window is open from the 2nd to the 16th. So those teams are going to be a little bit at disadvantage, yet they're really not going to be, because they are still the top teams in the nation at that time. They're going to be able to find good recruits coming in. It's just going to be a little bit more compact for those couple coaches there and staff members to try and get transfers in and out of that team. All right, now let's head into last week's score recap. We'll start off with number 3, Miami, beating number 18, Florida State, 28-22. Florida State trying to make a comeback, just not good enough. Mississippi State gets blown out by number 6, Texas A&M on the road, 31-9. Penn State loses the biggest loss, I think, in James Franklin's career at Penn State. Number 7 drops to an unranked, winless UCLA team on the road, 42-37. Huge win for the Bruins. This team looked like they were not going to win one game at all. Last week, I was talking about potentially not having a game under their belt in the win column. Their best chances was against Maryland when it came to the point spread. Who knew that not having a head coach, defense coordinator, offense coordinator the week before would have turned into this? Yes, the defense did not look great for UCLA, but the offense was able to answer. Nico Iamaleava looked actually pretty damn solid in that game. That actually was surprising in my opinion for UCLA. Huge win for the Bruins there. Big shout out to UCLA and that staff getting that team ready for a big game like Penn State. Now for Penn State, what does this mean? In my opinion, done for the playoffs. Obviously, 2 losses. You can still make it in. They still got a schedule that could get them into a Big 12 title game, but with 2 losses, you're hoping for a lot of other teams to lose. They also had to face Ohio State on the road, and based off of what they've already done this season, in my opinion, they're going to get smoked by Ohio State. So I think James Franklin might be on the hot seat, and this might be his last year at Penn State, especially with all the preseason hype about Penn State. Franklin already losing 2 games this early in the year. Not a good look for the Nittany Lions. We'll move on. Number 9, Texas lost to Florida 29-21. Again, another team, high expectations at the beginning of the season. Now with 2 losses and officially unranked. A little spoiler there for the top 25. Not good. Arch Manning hasn't looked all that great. Had a couple good throws in that game, but overall, Florida just dominating that game at the Swamp. Big win for the Gators. Number 16, Vanderbilt lost. Number 10, Alabama, 30-14. Overall, Vanderbilt not that bad. A couple bad turnovers, but still think Vanderbilt's actually a better team than a lot of people expect. Number 11, Texas Tech beat Houston 35-11. Iowa State, 14th ranked, lost to Cincinnati 38-30. Number 24, Virginia beat Louisville in overtime 30-27. Kansas State lost on a blocked field goal to end the game by Baylor, a 35-34 win for the Bears. Air Force lost to Navy in a close one, 34-31, and Memphis beat Tulsa 45-7. Memphis becoming the first 6-0 team on the season and the only team to be bowl eligible. So big win for the Tigers there. With that being said, we head into the top 25, and this week I think is a lot better than the last couple weeks. Number 1, Ohio State. Number 2 is Miami. They jump up 1. Oregon drops 1-3. Ole Miss stays put at 4. Texas A&M gets a +1 to 5. Oklahoma drops 1 to 6. Indiana gets +1 to 7. Alabama +2 to 8. Texas Tech gets a +2 to 9. Georgia gets +2 to 10. LSU gets a +2 to 11. Tennessee a +3 to 12. Georgia Tech gets a +4 to 13. Missouri, Michigan, Notre Dame, Illinois, BYU, and Virginia all get a +5 rating to 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and 19. Vanderbilt drops 4 to 20. Arizona State gets a +4 to 21. Iowa State drops 8 to 22. Memphis and USF go from unranked to 23 and 24, and Florida State drops 7 to 25. 2 teams will drop out. Penn State from 7, Texas at 9. Other receiving votes, Cincinnati at 129, Texas at 111, Penn State at 97, Utah at 82, and Nebraska at 60. So looking at this top 25, much more respectable numbers here. Next to certain teams, I think Miami going up to 2 makes sense. Ole Miss at 4 is still surprising in my opinion, but based off what they did, I don't really think they should drop. A&M going out to 5, surprising that they're there, but respectable in my opinion. Indiana at 7, I don't think they're that good. We'll see this upcoming weekend if they could stay there. Alabama gets a +2 to a good win against Vanderbilt. Yes, everybody else jumping up because other teams dropped out. All makes sense. I think for the most part, this week is a lot better than the last few weeks. All right, let's move into some Power 4 standings updates. We are heading close to about the midway point of the season. So we'll get into the top 5s for each of the conferences. We'll start off with the ACC. Virginia, 3-0, 5-1 overall. Duke at second, 3-0 in conference, 4-2 overall. Georgia Tech, third place, 2-0, 5-0 overall. Miami in fourth, 1-0, 5-0 overall. And fifth is SMU, 1-0 and 3-2 overall. So the ACC pretty close. So a couple of those teams did not expect to be out there, Virginia being one of them. Georgia Tech, I actually did expect. Excited to see that they're up there. Duke, another one. Don't think it's going to last, but they are up there 3-0 to start off the year for ACC play. We'll move on to the Big 12. BYU at number 1, they're 2-0, 5-0 overall. Texas Tech at second, 2-0, 5-0 overall. Arizona State 2-0, 4-1 overall in third place. Cincinnati has fourth place, 2-0, 4-1 overall. And Iowa State in fifth place, 2-1, 5-1 overall. Now I think this conference is going to be very compact. We're already looking at the standings being very close. 4 teams already 2-0. Iowa State could have been a 3-0 team after this past weekend. They got the loss, but they're still in it with that one loss because of the way they had to do scheduling with other teams. So again, up for grabs conference. Big 12 really going to come down to the last week in my opinion. Big 10 now. Indiana at number 1, they're 2-0, 5-0 overall. Ohio State, second place, same record. Third place, Oregon, same record. Fourth place, Michigan, they're 2-0, 4-1 overall. And Illinois is 2-1, 5-1 overall. We head to the SEC now. Ole Miss at number 1, 3-0, 5-0 overall. Texas A&M 2-0, 5-0 overall. Alabama 2-0, 4-1 overall. Missouri at 1-0, 5-0 overall. And Oklahoma 1-0, 5-0 overall. SEC I think is another conference that could come down to last week just to the fact that a lot of teams have to face each other a lot. Could be a conference where we see one-loss teams going into the SEC championship game instead of an undefeated team going into the championship game. That's just my opinion. Going to be a very good conference to watch throughout the week. All right, we head into underdog picks. Last week, I finally got on the scoreboard. Last week's pick was number 24, Virginia at 6.5 point underdog against Louisville. They got the overtime win, a 30-27 win. Now, season total is finally not at 0, 11.5 points for me, 6.5 points for the spread, and a 5 points for the outright win. So huge win for Virginia Cavaliers there. This week, I'm going out on a limb here. UCLA is a plus 7.5 against Michigan State on the road, 9 a.m. Big Ten Network. It's going to be a tough game for the Bruins, but I'm going to ride the hot hand right now. I think UCLA keeps it close at the very least, but I will not rule it out that they have a chance to win that game. I think they're going to be riding high. Offense is going to be clicking. Will the defense be able to hold up their end is my really assumption is that they might not. So I think there's a good chance that they just keep it close. But the offense is going to be slinging it this week. So I think the UCLA Bruins could at the very least keep it closer than 7.5. All right, games to watch this weekend and picks. Ohio State versus Illinois. I got Ohio State here. This is an easy pick for me. I don't think Illinois is good at all. Number 8, Alabama versus number 14, Missouri. Give me Alabama, but give me it in a close game. I don't really think Missouri's that bad. I picked them to go big last year. They did not do that for me, so I have a little bit of a gripe against them there. But I think Alabama's actually not that bad after their first loss. I think the Tide keep it close. UCLA, Michigan State, again, only a game to watch just for the fact that I don't know what's going to happen the week after a big win. Can we see a UCLA team that puts up a couple big games, gets into a column where they could be an upset watch alert for the rest of the year? I really hope so. Michigan State, not too much about them. I don't think they're an exciting team. I think UCLA gets the win. The fairy tale keeps rolling on. Number 7, Indiana versus number 3, Oregon. Indiana against Oregon, to me, is not even going to be close. Give me the Ducks winning now. Texas versus Oklahoma. Oklahoma is going to win this one. John Mateo not in the lineup, but I still don't think it's going to be a problem. Give me the Sooners. Florida versus Texas A&M. If it was at the Swamp, I would go with Florida in this game, but because it's in Aggie land, I got to go Texas A&M. They look really good at home this year. Give me the Aggies. Number 10, Georgia versus Auburn. Auburn's not awful. They have been a little bit up and down this season, so I'm going to get Georgia the close edge here, but I wouldn't be surprised if Aubrey does pull off that upset. Number 15, Michigan versus USC. Give me the Fighting Trojans here. I think the Trojans are going to win this game. I think Michigan is a little bit of a big head right now. I think USC is going to come into this game. They're at home. They're going to be able to put up a home field advantage, hopefully. It's a sellout. Hopefully it's not too many Michigan fans at that game. But USC, I think, is going to put up a good performance. Give me the Trojans in that game. And last one, number 21, Arizona State versus Utah. I got to ride with my Devils here. ASU coming off a bye. Utah also coming off a bye. So there's not going to be a problem with slow starts for either of these teams. Technically there can be, but that won't be an excuse for both teams. With both teams coming off a bye, Utah is an awful place to play at. They are great home field advantage. There should be some bad weather. Arizona State should not be favored in that game, and as of right now, they're not. They're 2.5 point underdogs here against Utah. 21 ranked in the country. Arizona State has to win this game, in my opinion. They win this game, they're going on a hot streak going into the rest of the year, and potentially College game day next week if Texas Tech and Arizona State both win. So really big implications here for the Sun Devils, but Utah, obviously, really big chance to upset in that game. All right, let's head to college hockey. There's no really news outside of just score recaps and top 20. So let's get straight into it. Score recap from Friday. Number 13, Quinnipiac beat number 6, Boston College 4-3. Clarkson, number 20 in the country, lost to Canisius 3-1. Mercyhurst gets smoked by number 12, Michigan 11-1. Merrimack loses to UMass Lowell 4-0. Michigan Tech loses to Minnesota, 7th ranked in the country, 6-3. Number 10, UConn lost to Colorado College 4-2. And number 5, Penn State beat number 14, Arizona State 6-3. On Saturday, Long Island lost to number 2, Boston College 4-2. Number 20, St. Thomas beat St. Cloud State 4-3. Mercyhurst gets shut out 7-0 against number 12, Michigan. Northern Michigan loses number 15, UMass 5-3. Number 10, UConn beat Colorado College 5-1. And number 5, Penn State beat number 14, Arizona State 4-2. And the last game was also number 7, Minnesota losing to Michigan Tech 5-3. Now, we head into the top 20, and we have no movement at number 1. Western Michigan gets to play their first game this upcoming weekend, and they stay put at number 1. Michigan State gets a +1 to 2. Boston University drops 1 to 3. Penn State gets +1 to 4. Denver drops 1 to 5. Providence gets +2 to 6. Michigan gets +5 to 7. Maine stays put at 8. Quinnipiac gets +4 to 9. Boston College drops 4 to 10. North Dakota drops 1 to 11. Minnesota drops 5 to 12. UConn drops 3 to 13. UMass gets a +1 to 14. ASU drops 1 to 15. Cornell and Ohio State share the poll at 16. Nobody at 17. Wisconsin gets a +1 to 18. St. Thomas gets a +1 to 19. Minnesota State drops 2 to 20. Clarkson was the only team to drop out from the 20 spot. Other receiving votes was Minnesota Duluth, Colorado College, Michigan Tech, UMass Lowell, and Northeastern. All right, games of the weekend. We head to college football. Number 7, Indiana versus number 3, Oregon. That's 12:30 on CBS. I think this is going to be a pretty solid game, but I think Oregon is going to run away with it in the second half. And for college hockey, number 10, Boston College versus number 12, Minnesota. That's actually a Thursday-Friday matchup, so if you want to watch that, you got to watch it on Thursday and Friday. All right, guys, now I do for this episode. Thank you guys for listening. 183 episodes in the books. Make sure you guys check out the previous episode 182, where I talked about everything from the college or from the NHL season. We had NHL news, so that took the place of the Pro Sports Plus news, and we had nothing for college, so we gave you this college sports news. 2 episodes for the weekend. Hopefully you guys watch them both. If you guys enjoyed it, make sure you guys hit that like, subscribe, that bell icon so you guys are notified when episodes like this drop. Make sure you guys have an awesome rest of your weekend. Watch some college sports, and we'll see you guys later.